The following message is brought to you by Balsamiq. Balsamiq have decided to support the SaaS district community by donating their sponsored airtime to some of our listeners. This episode is sponsored by Orapa, a platform that helps you find top sales talent and get more sales calls with your dream clients. Orapa is a gig platform that connects startups with sales rep. The sales rep can then schedule sales calls with your dream clients. The best part is you only pay for qualified meetings on your calendar. So visit orapa.co. If you're a startup founder or a VP of sales looking to hire more sales rep to help you grow your business while only paying for booked meetings and appointments, check out orapa.co today. If you'd like to receive a promo code for Balsamiq or even just thank the folks at Balsamiq for supporting our community, please check out our show notes where we include a link to that promo code specifically for the SaaS district community. Thank you all. Hello everyone. This is your host, Akeel Jabbar, and welcome back to another episode of SaaS District. In today's episode, we'll be talking about how to drive more sales with personalized automated email marketing. Today we have our guest, George Hartley, joining us. George is the co-founder at Sendy, Bluethumb, and SmartrMail. SmartrMail is a tool that helps makes email easier for e-commerce companies through seamless platform integrations and a ton of personalization. Last year, users of SmartrMail sent 1 billion emails, and some users have generated an additional $50K in sales as a result of using the platform. George and his team have now built SmartrMail to over $100K in monthly recurring revenue, so $100K in MRR, and have been growing 10% month over month. So welcome, George. Glad to have you on our show today.
Thanks so much. It's great to chat with you.
Awesome. So, can you just, for those people who don't know about your background, can you tell us more about your past ventures and the story of how you decided to launch SmartrMail, I think in 2016?
Yeah, sure. So SmartrMail is the kind of second startup that I've done with my co-founder, and we've had a couple of little things on the side along the way. We actually got our start back in 2012. Three of us, basically two accountants and me, who was a designer, and we decided to launch an art company, which seemed like a strange thing to do back then. But we wanted to launch sort of an internet marketplace. We'd been keen to do this for a while, and we were kind of trying to work out what to do in the space. And I was also a failed musician, and I'd used SoundCloud a lot, and it was amazing. And I had friends who were artists, and I kind of talked to them. They had nowhere to sell their art, and so we decided, why don't we do SoundCloud for art? So that was here in Australia, and we launched Bluethumb as an art marketplace and muddled along for a couple of years. We were working other jobs, and eventually raised a bit of money on that, went full time, and we've grown that to Australia's largest online art marketplace. And so that's been growing wildly actually through COVID. And my brother still runs that, and I help on product there. And along the way, while we're trying to grow this art marketplace, we identified email as a valuable channel for us for e-commerce, which it is. But with the art market, we tried a few tools like the bigger email marketing tools that were out there at the time. This is sort of 6-7 years ago. But the art market's a funny one where, as you're a customer, if just because you fit a certain segment or demographic doesn't mean you're interested in that art from that segment. So we built our own email marketing system. It was pretty crude, but it basically took in your user data, what you'd liked or added to cart, and it sent you automated emails based on those recommendations. And it became our second most valuable channel as a sales tool. And so Phil, my co-founder, and I decided, maybe we should spin this into its own company. And so that's how SmartrMail came about. And we thought we built the bones of it. We said it was working. Well, it'll just take us 3 months to launch. We'll put it on Shopify. And lo and behold, 16, 17 months later, we had a company. These things always take a bit longer.
So you weren't actually like going out there trying to solve another person's problem and build this startup. You were actually just figuring it out and solving your own internal problem. And then you realize like, this is actually a better platform than what's out there. And we can actually turn this into a business. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, that's right. And the whole point was, email marketing seemed like this. It's been around forever.
Right.
It seemed like there wasn't much personalization. There wasn't, there's this advance in marketing channels on these other things like social and search, but emails just seemed really stagnant, especially for e-commerce. And so, that's why we launched SmartrMail, and we've been sort of laser focused on that. How can we help e-commerce stores to do better personalized email marketing, but also do it quicker? Especially smaller, medium-sized e-commerce stores, they really suffer from the lack of time. You don't have enough heads to do this stuff. And so email can actually get kind of not done when it should be done. You don't have the time. So, we actually optimize for speed of composing, setup, all that stuff.
Makes sense. So last I read, I think it was in December of 2019, so almost 9 months as of this recording, you guys passed the 100K MRR mark and we're growing 10% month over month. Where are you guys at today, if you can share, and has there been any slowdown due to COVID?
We've actually sped up a little bit. COVID really sort of put a rocket under e-commerce actually. And, our growth is, it seems very fast and we're happy with it. But if you tie it to, say, a company like BigCommerce or Shopify, where we integrate with, we're probably on about par with those guys. And they're, like billion-dollar companies. But they're growing it like through COVID. I think Shopify said they grew 60% or something over the first few months, like something enormous.
Yeah.
We're seeing that sort of growth as well. It's lit a fire under us, which has been great. But what it's meant is additional strain on servers and all these things where you just want to build new features. You just want to sort of like build new integrations, and actually you just end up spending half your time making sure that the thing is stable tomorrow. So,
right.
So it's been great. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, that is a good problem. And what would you say is the strongest marketing channels that have helped you reach to this point at the beginning stages? So you did the integrations. What else would you say has worked well?
Yeah. So integrations are actually our biggest source of new customers. That's great because they do that for you, but also it sucks a little bit because you can't control that as much. You can do you can try and improve your rankings and SEO and this stuff within these app stores and integration places, which is fine. But we do want to have our own channels because, we want to be able to pull as many levers as we can, right, to get growth. So we're constantly channel testing, and we try and structure it properly so that we'll be doubling down on the 4 key channels that are bringing most of our new customers. And at any one time, we'll be focusing on trying to improve at least one of them and focusing on testing one outside of that. So after the integrations in the app stores, then we have sort of paid acquisition across social and search, obviously, which everyone does. Mm-hmm. Then content. So we spend a lot of time and effort on good content. And whether that's writing blogs for partners and other people like that, or we're actually filming like an in-depth video course for one of our partners right now, and they have a full kind of university-type learning center, which is amazing. And we've been picked to do an email marketing course, which is great, but I sort of have to pivot into being a talking head, which is not my forte. And then after content, we do a little bit of really targeted cold reach out that's pretty structured, and sort of we look at that, and then there's a bunch of partnership stuff as well.
Cool. And then, on the other side, what's working is great, but also learning what didn't work. What would you say is the least effective strategies, or would you consider valuable failed growth experiments you guys ran and it just didn't pan out?
Oh, there's tons. So every channel, and you hear about it all the time. Someone with a SaaS is like, LinkedIn marketing works really well for me, or, Instagram's this untapped market for SaaS. and we've put a lot of effort into LinkedIn and literally done our money. Like nothing's worked there for us. Really? Instagram, we've tried Instagram marketing and content, all sorts of stuff. Nothing's worked. We've tried some influencer stuff. It might be that we don't have strong enough branding. I don't know. That's always fallen flat too. But I guess what we have with our channel testing is we try and circle back to it about a year later and throw a bunch more money, effort and focus, because stuff really does change, and we've seen it with Bluethumb. Instagram wasn't a channel that worked for us, which was surprising. For about 3 years, we tested and tested and tested, and now it's really, really important. But yeah, so far, Twitter hasn't worked, LinkedIn hasn't worked, Instagram hasn't worked, influencer stuff and it's probably on us, not the channel. But yeah.
Interesting. So I'm curious on the search side, because I know email marketing is a very, very competitive space. Like you're paying $30+ CPC. You guys have proven to make that work somehow?
Oh, mate, we're not going to pay $19 for a click for someone to search email marketing. Not a chance. No, we were, we weren't fortunate enough to get the full spelling of SmartrMail. It's missing a vowel, so we definitely have to spend on misspellings. We tend to go for more long tail or longer phrases, I guess, with that. We do buy a bunch of terms around it, but we're certainly not going up head to head on just straight up email marketing. Yeah, no way.
Yeah. You don't want to go against MailChimp or the other big guys. Yeah. So, as a SaaS founder, the main goal behind why they want to come in and start investing in email marketing strategies and tools is not only to increase their sales, but improve engagement. Since I know your platform is focused on e-commerce, but it can apply to SaaS as well, what are some strategies that you recommend to SaaS founders to increase their engagement for, what you guys use yourselves, maybe provide relevant information and buyers to be, kind of more personalized?
So yeah, it's sort of a good distinction. So our product, SmartrMail, is completely focused on e-commerce. And so for e-commerce marketers, there's a really great sort of 80-20 set of sort of rules or frameworks you can use straight away that I'd say turn on, personalized, welcome series, personalized, win-back series, personalized abandoned carts, and, maybe personalized reorder depending on your products. Like I could tell you straight up, just turn them on, tweak it, make it in your brand voice, but go and do it. And it's great. It's actually nice to work within sort of the confines of, we know this stuff works. And obviously there's a lot more you can do, go much deeper, but to get 80% of it right, you can just go and set that up right now. For SaaS, in a way we have less experience because we've only done it once for us, right? And so what works for us at the moment is more around our content. But the really big thing about email is it's an amazing retention, obviously. So, once you have someone's email, they're either in that funnel to convert or they're in that funnel to buy from you as e-commerce. That's amazing. But it's actually really important to measure your email list growth rate. It's one of those numbers that doesn't get talked about as much, but if you think about it if you do have an e-commerce store, for example, you might have a great conversion rate on your site at 1%, right?
Yeah.
So for every 100 visitors, one of them will check out that day. If you're not measuring growth and actively trying to improve how many people are getting into your funnel, whether that's running like pop-ups, whether that's kind of pushing people to sign up for out-of-stock products, all that stuff, if you're not actively collecting hard and measuring it, you're missing out. You're missing changing that conversion rate from 1% to like 3 or 4%. 4xing that conversion rate just by properly and aggressively collecting emails. And it's the same thing with SaaS, but SaaS companies are pretty good about pushing people into that first email funnel. But that's really important to kind of think about and actually measure, because as soon as you're measuring it, you're kind of starting to optimize.
Makes sense. So I know as part of that, customer acquisition journey, there's always that big challenge where, if you're using email marketing to help trying to convert your users, but then you're always trying to compare, leverage your ROI on your marketing spend. You have content marketing, you have social media. What would you suggest in how you allocate, your resources and time to this channel, and how to best leverage, email marketing to increase ROI specifically? Because you can do some testing. I guess you set up your onboarding, or where is the right place to kind of get the most bang for your buck?
Yeah. In general, as a channel, email has like amazing ROI, kind of almost the best you'll get, really. So it's hard to screw that up. The only way to screw that up is perhaps signing up to like an email tool that makes you lock in for a year and doesn't actually perform. Like I said, especially with this smaller merchants we have, or even like smaller up and coming SaaS companies, you're battling against time. Like you just don't have the time to do all this stuff, right? So if email gets lost along the way and you don't set up your flows and you aren't sending, once a week or once a fortnight, that is going to be the biggest kicker to ROI, right? So, often our first piece of advice to people, even sometimes these big stores will join us and they won't be sending. I'm like, that's cool. You can really make this a channel. Let's get you started, and then after that, you are going to have good ROI on email. It's just a matter of, just paying a bit of attention to what your audience is engaging with, and just going from there.
So are you just sending out emails like every week or every month, just with updates? Like here's some updates on some new features. Here's new updates on our blog. This is new things that you can start doing. Or is that all you're doing? Just kind of keeping keeping your audience up to date and your email fresh?
No, that's sort of, that wears a bit thin on our customers. If for like a SaaS like us, customers really care about how it's working for them. So the emails that we send actually to get the best engagement are actually your weekly digest of here's your results, here's how much money you generated from email versus other channels. When people hit those milestones, people love hitting, you've made 20 sales through email milestones, 50 sales, those sorts of things. Those notifications actually, it's like a little, oh, great. It's like seeing your heart count on social media. It's the same thing, but it actually means something. So no, you want to set up those sorts of things, and then as well that have a good look at your initial funnel. That is, capturing people who are sort of browsing to try it, to push them through. And email's really good for that. But again, we set up a whole bunch of different personalized funnels based on where they've gotten to in their journey.
Interesting. So the reporting side, where you're actually showing them the value of your product, I think is what you're saying, is that you keep pushing that out, and just keep reminding them of the value of what they're paying. How often are you doing that? Like once a week?
Yeah. So we have digests that go out once a week. Nice. And the whole product is actually, that's the first big number you see when you log into SmartrMail. How much money have you made from email? And as a percent of your total sales, how much is email making up at the moment for your store? Because really, one way to grow your store is to optimize on, we're getting 8% of our sales through email. We can probably squeeze that up, and that'll help your store overall.
Cool. And then some other things that you're analyzing from the users of your platform. What are some best practices that you've noticed once you've onboarded a new customer to help them reduce churn and maybe increase that customer retention through email marketing? Because that's an important factor every SaaS company is facing, right? Yeah.
We've actually been doing a lot of work on that recently, and no one's perfect, but I think we've got some improving to do there on making sure our customers are getting the most out of our product. So we do have a few triggers set for when someone is kind of say on a more advanced plan, but they're not using our advanced automation tools. Mm-hmm. We actually push them into a flow. Once they're on and paying, we push them into a flow to book an onboarding, like a sort of a more of a demo where we can help set up their account. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I guess we use email in that context more to try and get people to get in touch with our account managers, because you can get email overwhelm as well. So mm-hmm. yeah.
And you're just doing that on the onboarding side, or you just like 3 months in after they 3 or 6 months in? What's your strategy to keep them after that?
Yeah, we have triggers. So we do it for onboarding once they start as a paying customer. If they get to a gate 3 months in and they're not using an advanced feature, one of the advanced features, and they're an advanced customer, will trigger some more emails to try and get them to book a call with us to help them set up and get the most out of it. Because our ethos is people aren't going to churn if this thing is providing a lot of value. Mm-hmm. And we want to make sure that the people who are paying for the advanced stuff are actually getting that value. Otherwise, they'll churn. So yeah, there's more for us to do on it, I think, but that's kind of where we're at the moment.
Nice. So I know you mentioned a little bit, was there anything else in terms of differences of how we should be implementing this if you're a SaaS company versus an e-commerce, or maybe any other industries that are using your platform?
Yeah. So I guess we're completely focused on e-commerce and giving e-commerce customers those sorts of things set up out of the box as defaults. Mm-hmm. Obviously editable, but like I said, it's nice to kind of operate within a niche that's a bit more, has a bit more of a basic framework. For SaaS, I'm not really confident in saying best practice because it seems SaaS is so varied. So yeah, all I could say is just kind of measure what works. And yeah, we use a bunch of tools to kind of, we've got Mouseflow so we can kind of see videos of what people are doing with our site. We do user testing, and then we sort of run Intercom, Mixpanel, and Google Analytics to kind of give us a framework of what's going on.
Cool. What was that first tool you mentioned to record the videos?
Oh, Mouseflow.
Mouseflow. Okay.
It's like it's similar to Hotjar. Yeah,
Hotjar,
we've used them both in the past.
Nice. So I know you also in your platform you guys do email personalization. Can you speak more? How deep does that personalization go? What kind of data are you gathering, and what kind of customized information are you able to provide from it?
Yeah, it's cool. That's sort of the basis of the whole stack is starting with the customer data. And the great thing about being an e-com and being on a platform is when someone adds us, actually add us as a plugin, and we suck in all their store data, all their product data, all of their customer sales data. They obviously give us permission, and we let stores use that to automatically populate content in emails. So the whole point is you shouldn't have to have like a data scientist on your team to be able to do AI-driven personalization. Is a commodity at this point, and it should be easy to do. So yeah, kind of that's the starting point. You add us as a plugin, and it takes a few minutes, and then all your data is there and ready to be used. The other thing that's cool that we do is we actually start on-page tracking from that point on. And so as you've been running SmartrMail for longer, we start getting clicks, product clicks, add to carts, and we can marry that up with email addresses and use that as well in the product recommendations. Mm-hmm. So all that adds up to is hopefully more accurate recommendations. And what we see is, we have billions of emails running through SmartrMail, and sort of on aggregate, we can measure how much revenue is generated per types of email, and emails that include those recommended products in them, so those data-driven recommendations, mm-hmm. They make more than twice as much revenue as the sort of newsletters that don't have them. So it's a bit over double on those emails. And it's actually quite a simple sort of process to do it. You just kind of add in the product block. It's like add in recommended products here. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of, and like basically if you have the data in your store, whether it's, you know, a product, a category, you know, the type of customer, you can use that in your emails as well. You know, they're called merge fields, but it's pretty easy to do. So.
Interesting. And that's usually based on the product. Has that been the biggest kind of personalization? Is there any other stats you can share of like what other personalization has helped in terms of results for any of your clients?
Yeah, well, I guess the beauty of it is it uses customer data, product data, and the on-page stuff as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it sort of just goes to a big ML stack and comes back with recommended products, and we tune it over time to try and improve the revenue per email number.
Very cool. You know, what are you most excited or curious about at the moment, and where do you guys plan to focus the rest of your efforts on improving for the remainder of 2020, George?
Yeah, it's like I said, you know, this sort of the COVID-driven boom in e-commerce has obviously just caught everyone unaware. But you know, it's amazing that, you know, this happened and you assume your company is going to go under, and instead it suddenly goes bang. So we've sort of almost been, you know, playing catch up a little bit to this point. We've hired up a few more people, and we're just now at the point where we're releasing a couple of big new features that have been sitting there. You know, we haven't been able to work on them as much as we'd like. And so now we've got a ton of new stuff that's coming online, which is super exciting to me. But yeah, it's sort of seeing, they say it's 3 years worth of e-commerce growth compressed into 6 months. Oh. Just being along for that ride has been amazing. It's like holding to the back of a bear running around. Yeah. So it's a really exciting place to be. And like my biggest thing as sort of, you know, the co-founder and CEO has been trying to make sure we're focused only on the right stuff, because there's so many cool things we could build. You know, there's a million different kind of marketing automation tools that sit on top of our product stack. And it's just a matter of speaking to our customers and working out which is the best one. But yeah, we've got a few things in the works, but really, sort of the back half of this year is releasing this whole new big flow builder that is the beautiful kind of drag and drop layout. You can see all these drawn out flows that'll all be there, and a lot of nice draft designs you can just turn on. So that's actually going live next week. And then we kind of, have a whole bunch of other stuff that's almost ready as well. So I don't know, the future's bright. It's just a matter of saying no to enough stuff for me. Yeah,
I think that's equally important too, right? If you got a lot on your plate, a lot of things you can pick from, and then just knowing what to say no to know where to focus, right?
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah, cool, awesome, George. I really appreciated you jumping on SaaS District today. You know, how can our audience get in touch with you and learn more about, you know, email marketing, maybe for their own companies?
Yeah, if you want to upskill on email marketing, and especially if you are into e-commerce, or even if you're thinking of, you know, getting started with e-commerce and want to know about email as a channel, just go to SmartrMail.com or Google us, SmartrMail, Shopify, SmartrMail BigCommerce. We've got tons of content there. Like I said, we're producing this big video sort of course as well. That'll be live soon. I can't say who it's with yet, but that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. Check us out. Send us a note.
Cool. So that's SmartrMail without the E. So smarter and TR. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, George. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next time.
Thanks again.
All right. Cheers. Thank you all for watching this episode and joining SaaS District today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for future episodes where we interview top leaders in the SaaS industry. If you're a SaaS company looking to grow and unlock the true value of your business, get in touch with us at Horizon Capital, and myself or one of our consultants will provide a free assessment to help you get there and hit your goals. If you have any feedback or suggestions for this podcast, please comment down below and help us improve our content for you all. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.